Let me just close this window before the cat comes out. Don't fuck around, Kitty. All right. We're going live. Here we are. Let me just check. Is this rolling? All right, everybody, good morning. Welcome to Live with Neve, high in the Highlands, overlooking beautiful Atlantic Ocean and New York City. I have some great guests today. I have Craig Coleman, master guitar player. I've got the master of the rent, Mike Imperato, and from Germany, I have Ingo Eisen, who's joining us to talk about his film scoring and music things that he does. Makes good sounds, things that go bump in the night, and hopefully bring people together. So a couple things before we get rolling. Today, obviously, we are all hanging and waiting to see what the outcome of the election is. It's a beautiful day here in New York. I'm not going to talk or worry about any of this election stuff because we've had it going on for months. I just tune it out. When we know the outcome, we'll know the outcome. It's a beautiful day here. It's going to be in the 70s, which may be the last time we have that here. And that's it. So without much ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mike on. Mike Imperato's Rants is a fun show. Mike's a great guy. He's a former New York City police officer, and we're glad to have him on the show. Craig Coleman is just a fantastic guitar player. Check him out, Craig Coleman. We're going to be talking about his recent series, My Life as a Black Rock Musician, and it's going to be great fun. So, Mike, let's have a little chat here. I'm going to go ahead and bring you other guys. You'll be on, but you won't be in the picture. So, Mike, I'm going to bring you up. I'll talk to you other guys in a minute. Just stand by. And there we go. And this is the one. Hold on.
There we go. You got me?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, can you hear me?
All right, I do. So without much ado, Mike, tell us about your rants and how you came to start your show and all that fun stuff.
All right, first I want to say for the first time, Live with Neve, Mike Imperato's Rants. Well, I've always been a comedian of sorts. You know, I did stand-up back in the day, a lot of open mic stuff and that kind of stuff. And, I started really mostly making fun of television shows because the stupidity is just mind-boggling. So I was out in Missouri for 8 months. My son had gone through some cancer treatments, and the whole time I was out there. And literally, I was getting 150, 200 videos a day sent to me, the same videos over and over with the politics, with the friggin' hatred, with this. And I was like, there's got to be something else on social media. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a rant page with no politics. And, part of me says, hey, should I have gone with the politics? Yeah, because I could have a million viewers, a million fans, but I don't want to do it. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about where I think this country's headed, and it's a sad state. But for the most part, I like to keep mine fun. I make fun of everyday life. Here's an example. I came across a picture today. I took about when I was in Missouri, staying at the hotel on the Air Force Base. The toilet is bolted to the wall. Right above the toilet, it says, do not use if you exceed 300 pounds. All right. So now, what if you happen to be this fat bastard? You got to take a dump. So you have two choices. Can't sit on, then you'll break out of the wall, water all over the place. You take a dump in the tub. Or should they have another sign up that says, take your fat ass over to the gas station and break their freaking toilet? I never saw a freaking weight limit sign on a toilet in my freaking life. And that popped up on my memories today. And I'm like, what do you do if you check into the hotel, you weigh 320 pounds, you hold it in all freaking night? It was crazy. But so I just did things like that for fun. And, a lot of people, hey, can you rant about this election? I'm not going to do it, But so one funny story I'll give you. When I was in high school, I worked at a catering hall in Brooklyn, and Jason's son was he was a Korean gentleman that was in charge of all the maintenance staff, and I can impersonate him to a T. And we had two brothers that worked there, Keith and Owen. Maybe you'd say they were a little bit simple, but so I used to get on the intercom and say, their names were Keith, Owen, bring 100 tables to VIP. So now these poor guys are carrying 100 tables up 3 flights of stairs. he'd come and see them and say, "What's happening? What are you doing?" And you told us on the intercom to bring these tables up. Says, "I'm gonna kill that Mike. I'm gonna kill Mike." So finally, he came after me with a hatchet, and I was like, "Okay, I'm done," because he literally is gonna kill me. But I've been doing impersonations literally my whole life. I do Archie Bunker and Edith, fabulous. Oh, geez, there, hope the show yours works there, Neve, there. So Archie, he's got on a shirt that says he hears voices. But so I just wanted to give people something else to do on social media than just freaking the same. And do they think that I live under a rock, that like I need 200 people to send me the same video to see that I got it? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like people think that they have this thing in their head that it's up to them. They're the only person left on the planet. It's up to them to educate the public. It's like, we live under a freaking rock out here. I will say this on the election note. The only people that should be running the election are the people that own Chick-fil-A, because you go through that drive-through, they got it all figured out. I mean, all I'll say is we need a national mandate. We need the same voting machines in every state. We need the same deadlines in every state, the same ID requirements in every state, and hopefully this would never happen again.
Well, we hope that things sort out quickly. Obviously, everybody does, and I agree with you. The standards they should be some standard that's nationally the same. All these odd, groupings of things. But at any rate, that's enough for I guess politics this morning. We're just all waiting. So I'm going to just wait like I have been. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning or the next day, regardless of who is the elected winner, and I'll just be fine either way.
Same here.
We all have our opinions and our feelings, but I really hope at the end of the day that everybody, Democrat, Republican, I don't care if you're a black cat or if you could be from Mars, and as long as you're a good person and you make our society better, hopefully we can all work together, because we really are. I think there's only one race. A lot of people confuse that. But again, I'm going to leave it at that, because I like us to talk about, the music and all the good shit. Like you said about your show, it's interesting. It parallels this show starting. After COVID started, I had been in a severe injury a couple of years ago, and I was still in the going through recovery.
Wow.
And while I was sitting around, I was just going bored to death. I was essentially in lockdown from last September until the present, where I'm not really in lockdown now, but I don't go out much, and I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm an old guy.
Same here.
So I try to be careful, and I go out of my mind. I can tell from, just our friendship over time that you're a wild guy. You always got stuff going on. And I imagine you've been bored to death if you didn't have something to do.
Oh, to me, it's made a huge difference, because it actually keeps me busy and coming up with ideas and then filming them. And, so it really has been a godsend during the virus, because, I lost my brother-in-law at 68, and, I know how serious this is. And with my asthma, same as you, I've been staying in as much as possible. I don't have gatherings, and hopefully one day it'll pass and we can get back on with our lives. Right.
Well, all right, Mike. So tell some of our people, where do they find you?
Okay. I'm on Facebook. Facebook is my main platform. I'm at about 4,500 followers, I think, as of today. And I started in May. I have a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram page. I haven't gotten into Twitter or TikTok or any of that. But the reason I like Facebook so much is because I really interact with my fans. I try and respond to every comment, every like, every message. I took a long time when I was at Missouri. I took a while composing a letter to a famous comedian, and I said, trying to explain how much he meant to me and my son when he was going through chemo. And and not even a freaking response. And this is like 4 months later. And you know what? If my page ever got that big, I wouldn't let it get any bigger than that, because like every fan, I cherish them. I mean,
absolutely.
I see my picture next to Ray Romano's on somebody's likes, and I'm like, holy crap, that's me next to him. I don't take anybody for granted.
No, I don't either. And, I try to respond to everybody personally. I hope, I try to find interesting people. Like, you're a funny guy. I stumbled on you just because I always look for fun people, and you were your former New York City policeman. So as far as being a comedian, I'll bet you were a hoot. You've probably seen a lot. In fact, just briefly, what is the craziest thing you've ever seen, like, say, on a Halloween night as a law enforcement official in Manhattan?
Well, I got one better than that. On my very first night on patrol on Delancey Street in Lower Manhattan, this little kid comes running up to me, and he might have been like 8 years old, 9 years old. Officer, you got to come with me. These two guys are getting ready to have sex on the park bench, and I don't want my sister to see it. I'm like, oh, this is good. So I walk over there, and literally they're making the park bench with their sheets. They're tucking them around, the pillows. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, we're just getting ready to have sex before we turn in for the night. I said, well, you're not having it here. You got kids around. Oh, but we don't have a home, and, we're in a very loving relationship. You better go love somewhere else. But I was like, oh, this is going to be a very interesting job. And then Halloween, we had a job where this couple was throwing bullets at each other.
Throwing
the bullets, yeah. They had no guns, so they were throwing bullets at each other. I'm like, oh, my God. It was crazy.
Wow, you never know. When I was talking to Warren Zevon's former girlfriend, we got into, people always talk about the shady stuff of Warren and neglect all the good times and good things he did.
Right.
But, when you're a rock and roll guy, you sometimes get some strange fans. And there was one woman who could only make love to her husband, putting a Rolling Stone cover of Warren on his face. And she wrote to Warren about it, and he just was like, well, whatever makes you happy, And then,
oh, my gosh.
And then there was another woman who used to stand across from the hotel in Philadelphia. And I forget if she had I think she had his face tattooed on her chest or something. There was some weird, and I heard it from the horse's mouth. I wish I had Anita here, because she would tell you. And I just was like, everybody wants to be a rock star until you have somebody who stands across from the hotel every night stalking you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's sort of like when people talk about cops. Everybody hates a cop until they need one and they're getting their face kicked in, and then they call you guys. And I'm most of us, when we see the police coming, we're like, hey, I'm getting my face kicked in. I'm glad. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all the other acceptable things about it. But being a cop, what are some other just interesting tales from that period of your life?
Well,
it might show how you
this one was funny. So I was doing my neighborhood stabilization unit, it was called, where they saturate drug pressure points right out of the academy. And so this guy in a wheelchair, I saw him dealing heroin. So he had a switchblade and he had 200 decks of heroin on him. So I arrested him. So I'm wheeling him up to the freaking precinct in his wheelchair. And so on the seventh precinct, the firehouse is directly next door. So as I'm going by the firehouse, they're cheering, they're freaking honking the big fire engine horns and everything. So I get him into the precinct, and we had to carry him up the stairs. And the desk, it was the lieutenant sitting at the desk at the time. Trying to remember, I forget who it was, but he says to me, you ever bring this shit in here again, your career is over faster than you started. And that's when I knew right then that the job was never going to be on the level, because, it was just too much of a hassle for them to deal with somebody in a wheelchair. So basically, except for me, this guy got a free pass to deal heroin to anybody, anytime he wanted. And that took a lot of wind out of my sails immediately.
I'm sure it did. Well, Mike, I'd love to have you back on again, and we're going to be featuring you, every week. And you know what? I think it's really fun doing it in person. So I think we'll do a lot of them in person, because, I like your stuff. I watch it. Even if you weren't on the show, I'd still stop by every couple of days, just because I like what you do. It's funny and entertaining. That's more. The world needs more love, more music, more comedians. Need more people who are just doing fun stuff and getting along with each other a lot better than we seem to be.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
We're headed in a bad path, so we need that love.
All right, brother. Well, listen, I'll be talking to you next week, and Julie will be reaching out after the show. Have a great day, man, and a fine weekend to you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, everybody, check out Mike Imperato's Rants and tell him you saw it here. Mike, have a great weekend, buddy. I'm going to sign you out.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everybody, that was Mike Imperato of Mike Imperato's Rants, and he was talking just some of his comedy. You can check him out at Mike Imperato's Rants. And let's see. Okay, I had a message there. So I'm going to go to my friend Craig Coleman. Hey, Craig.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning.
Yeah, man, you're up early. I know hearing my voice the first thing in the morning is not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a rude awakening.
Yes, indeed, it is. So everybody, we're talking to Chris Coleman from Seattle, and he's calling in at a very early hour, and we appreciate that. Craig Coleman has episode 10 of My Chronicles as a Black Musician. And a lot of people have seen us talk before, but give me a little background on you briefly, and then we'll talk about your newest episode.
Sure. So I am a singer, guitar, songwriter, and I've been playing for many, many years. Started back in the early 70s. Did a lot of shows across the United States and over in Europe. And the idea for the vlog came from I had my Facebook page, and one of my editors said, you should write a book. I'm going like, yeah, right, whatever, So one night I woke up and I'm going like, that might be a good idea. I got a lot of stuff, now that I see chapter 10 today, I got a lot of stuff happening and have happened, and the feedback has been that people think it's interesting. So, knock on Formica, for that. So I'm just lucky. So it's just basically a blog that chronologically follows my life from birth to whenever. We'll probably take it up to today.
All right.
So that's an overview.
Cool. Well, I've enjoyed listening. I've looked through your YouTube. You're a hell of a player, and we become friends over the past 6 months or so.
Right.
I think it was interesting. I see a common theme amongst all of the guests here. We're all kind of in a stage of reinvention, and I think the whole planet is, because basically COVID sort of stopped life. It's unprecedented for our generation, and it's just, I see tons of people trying to reinvent themselves, do something. There's tons of negatives, but also the positives will come about. People can work from home using similar setups to what we're talking on. And I think that's a good thing, because that alone will lower gas usage and all these other factors that we don't think about too often.
Right.
Back to music. What's your favorite, what are your two favorite guitars? If I recall, you have a Fender and a Gibson and a Paul Reed or something along those lines.
Right. So yeah, also having a couple of acoustics. I have a Martin acoustic and an Ovation 12, which I really love.
I want to buy that from you bad, I tell you. I really do. I've been looking for one. My 12 is an old K. And it's built like a Russian tank. It still intonates. But it's nothing like I admire that guitar.
It's a great guitar. I got it off of Amazon, I think.
Wow.
It was a really, really good price. I got like $700, which is amazing.
Bring it on. Yeah, sure.
Well,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about your latest episode of the story.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the major things that happen in all this touring and moving around from state to state and country to country, that when I was about 15 years old, my father got transferred to Germany, Mannheim, Germany. And I went to school there from grade 9 to 11. And so that was a very, very formative time for me, because I was 15 years old, and I started playing music there. Started writing and playing, and the theme that for those chapters, there's going to be quite a few chapters, probably 3 or 4 chapters. A lot of great and interesting things happened during that time. But the thing that was very interesting was the camaraderie between all the students there, and that camaraderie has reached till today. I'm talking with people in high school from Mannheim, Germany, and the thing is that the concept was that, we're a bunch of American kids over in another country, so we have to stick together,
Right.
So we're there, and so that's what, these chapters are going to be about. So I'm just starting with those chapters today. And some very interesting, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. One of the things that happened during that first year is that me and about 4 or 5 other students got interrogated by the Army. And the Army basically was trying to infiltrate the drug culture there with the high school kids, and so they brought a few of us in to interrogate us. Covert operation is a big deal, you know. So got to get to the drug kingpins, right?
Right. I was going to say, you guys, I've been to boarding school, so I kind of understand that feeling when you're like in an American school over in Germany or however.
Right.
And it's pretty funny, I'm sure. Oh, man, we got this black kid and his friends. They're listening to jazz music or rock, and they're smoking weed. That's on the end of the day. So.
Yeah. But they didn't really have any proof. They were just trying to find out who was selling the drugs and everything. And of course, we all, you know, were unified, and we didn't tell them anything. So, you know, like I said in the vlog, we were kind of joking. We didn't take it very seriously. And so we all kind of strung them along. But anyway, I'm going to explain that little dance today. I'm producing it today, so it'll be on YouTube probably today or tomorrow. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like pretty fun. Tell me, do you have any musicians that you played with that are still over in Germany or have moved here that you keep up with?
There are a couple of people that I was in concert choir.
Okay.
And so there's some people in concert choir that have reached out. Claudette Arsenault, hey Claudette, and then Fred German, and also Otis Bennett are three of my friends that I've been in contact with over the last year that was in concert choir with me. So there's a few, but not really musicians per chance. I haven't found them yet. So
I know how that is. People come out of your life on Facebook all of a sudden from out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" A lot of times, you know, you just pick right up where you left off. It's like such a weird feeling with old friends from a long time ago.
Right.
I have a question for you from Johnny.
Okay.
He wants to know. He wants an autographed picture of you for his drum room.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Yeah. You know what? Johnny is a buddy of ours from down in Alabama, and hey, you know, whatever we can do to make that happen, Craig.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can. Let me see. We can figure out some. Have them, Johnny. Why don't you contact me on Facebook? And then we can probably do it that way.
Okay, Johnny, I hope you're listening. Either way, I'll get your contact info to Craig, and we'll get you a picture out as soon as he can handle that. I love this, that we can, like, I'd rather talk to you later in the day when we're both a little more shiny. I'm whining because I got up here at like 8 o'clock or 7:30 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, when I woke up, I saw your note. I was like, oh God damn.
Yeah. Well, that was, I sent that to you at 11 o'clock our time. So that was what, 2 o'clock your time.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, he's going to get this. He's going to be, I
wake up because I sleep kind of crappy. And like, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh God. And then I dozed off again. And you can see I responded once.
This is all new technology. You know, I was surprised I was able to get on actually, but it's a lot better than the last couple of times we tried to do this. A lot more smooth than it was before. So
you know what? I appreciate that you noticed it because I have to say we have Julie, the producer, has been helping a lot.
And thanks, Julie. You're awesome. Julie's awesome, man.
Yeah, Julie is awesome, and I know we all agree. In fact, it's going to be the Julie show before long, probably, because she's better looking than I am, and I'm kind of an old, crusty guy. But that's okay. We love Julie. I've known her for years. She's been on radio, many Clear Channel stations across the country.
Right.
And I'm glad to have her here. I've been involved with her. I produced a record for her. Has to be 20 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Any rate, she's great. She happened to, we stayed in touch over the years, and I told her the idea, and she said, well, I wouldn't mind helping out with that. And she does a great job. I also have to say, in thanking people, J.R. Sandstone is the person who actually does all the editing off camera. As you noticed, I'm just going to talk about the show for a minute while Craig's on for all of you who just joined us. We're now using a new streamcasting service, so I can have you join in on the show. For example, if you're watching the show on any of my channels, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or my band's various pages, my former band's various pages, you can find it. And it's really fun to do this. We get in touch with people like Craig. The world has become much smaller, and I'm glad like I can call Craig and say, hey man, what's up? And he's always doing something cool. And I enjoy just checking up with my friends who are what we're doing, because we're all locked in. And from what I understand, we may have a pretty heavy lockdown coming again. And I guess a lot of good music will get made. I certainly, I'll have to reach out to you afterwards, but I'm doing a Christmas song and I'm going to have a big We Are the World type ending. And I'm going to probably send you the track and maybe you can join in on the big full sing at the end. And
that'd be awesome.
We're going to get kids. I'm working on the song right now for anybody who's out there. I have musicians from all over the country who are friends of mine and my local people who are helping me, my band, former band members. And we're going to have a good time. And the more voices we can get for the We Are the World thing, it's going to be fun. We're going to have kids and adults and children and all races and everybody who's just having a good time at Christmas, which if you can't have a good time at Christmas, when can you?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not a Scrooge kind of a guy at all. I love Christmas. So tell me, have you got, I know I'm going to be interviewing your friend Craig. Let's tell me a little
Chad?
bit.
You mean Chad?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about him. How did you meet up?
Oh, wow. I met Chad through my wife. My wife is an incredible vocalist. And so she was doing some casuals with Chad. And Chad is a phenomenal guitar. I felt so funny. He's going to really laugh about this when he sees it. But I really felt like a groupie with Chad because he's so, I call him, he's an encyclopedia of riffs. This guy is just amazing. He's the real deal. And like I said, for a while, until I got to know him really well, I felt like a groupie because he was, like I said, he was a real deal. He was as good as anyone out there touring. And so we became friends and started talking a lot. And, I'm into supporting great talent, and Chad's great talent. And, he's helped me a lot in some with his wisdom and just questions. So, yeah, I just wanted to have you talk to him and introduce him because like I said, it's like you ever had an album that you love every song on it?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I feel about his album. His instrumental album that coming back from shows, the drive from shows, right? You put on, some music that kind of keeps you awake and keeps your brain stimulated. I used to put his CD on, instrumental CD on, coming from shows to keep my brain stimulated, excited. Listen to a riff or something going, ooh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Tell me, where can people find him? Is he on YouTube?
That would be something you probably should talk to him about. Because I like I said, I've got his phone number, so
yeah, right. Well, I have his contact. He did get back to me, and we're going to have him on in the next week or two.
That'd be awesome.
And I look forward to it. It's awesome. In fact, as the year unfolds, I want to do a couple of shows where I have a bunch of you great guitar players on, and we just talk gear for a day for all the gear.
That'd be awesome.
There. And I may even open it up to all different. We all like what we like, musical instruments, things like that. And the opinions are broad, and it's amazing to see how many different musicians with the same gear come up with a totally different lick or way of playing. I never fail to be amazed by the talent that's out here in our world.
He's a Paul Reed Smith guy too.
Right.
Yeah, he's got some great guitars. But yeah, anyway.
Well, he sure looks like he's having fun. I've looked at his his page on Facebook.
Well, the cool thing about it that he's in it's so funny. He's in I don't want to call it a Heart tribute because there's a couple members in there that are the original fans of Heart. Steve Fossen and Mike DeRozier.
Yes.
That is so funny because the singer, one of the main singers that I used to play with, the main singer Summer, and she was it was so funny because it was an interesting transition. She was playing in a Heart tribute band, and I came in and do some. I sat in with them a couple shows, and she's doing a Heart tribute, right? And so about a year later, she's in a real Heart band. She's Summer's awesome too, and so Chad's in that. So that's pretty cool to actually play with that level of musicians. So
absolutely. I remember the first time I heard Heart, I was about 14. I was in love with both of the girls, and I was just sitting there listening to the guitar playing on that song, Magic Man. It was like first time I heard it, you just go, wow, that guitar solo there is just really brilliant. And I enjoyed it. I still like seeing Heart.
Yes, Roger Fisher stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he was an excellent player.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody who's watching, I'm sitting here talking to Craig Coleman. You can find Craig Coleman live on Facebook. He's here with us. If you have any questions, type it into the right side of the screen on your computer.
Yeah. Also, my YouTube for the my vlog is my life as a black rock musician. So if you search on that, you can find all my pages for the chapters.
Great. All right, Craig. Well, listen, I know you probably can get back to bed for a little while, hopefully.
No, I'm up. I'm happy.
You're up. You're ready to rock and roll. All right.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I appreciate you getting up. You got a smile on your face. It's Friday, and I hope you have an excellent weekend. Give my best to your missus. And,
yeah.
We'll be talking in the next day or two, and I'll hit you back offline.
Yeah, I'm working on chapter 10 today because, like I said, this is going to be a pretty monumental chapter. So I'll be putting that on Facebook later on today. And so, and I want to, thanks for all your support, Neil. You've been great. We've known each other the last 2 or 3 months, and you've been just awesome in the support of music and also the vlog. And I'm here to support you, man. Anytime, anywhere. Just we'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure, and I can't wait till all this is done because I'm long overdue for going out and visiting some friends around the country. And
awesome, yeah.
Hopefully, I'll make it out to the coast. I was going to be out there in December or January rather, because NAMM's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, NAMM is not. I'm not going to be back this year.
Yeah.
And we'll survive. We're in a brave new world, and as always, Craig, you got great stuff. Keep up what you're doing, and I'll talk to you over the weekend.
Okay, man.
Okay, everybody. A big hand for Craig Coleman, and we'll see you again. Peace and out, Craig.
Okay.
Everybody, I'm going to be going to Live with Neve is going to be bringing on Ingo in just a moment. Ingo is from Munich, Germany, or in that vicinity, and he is a film writer and songwriter for film. Excuse me. So, Ingo, I'd like to talk to you. I'm going to bring you on. Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
How are you? How is it in Germany? How's your weather?
Good weather. Really nice colors.
Great. So let's talk about how your history and your career in music, and tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm gonna let you take it off.
Yeah, I'm working with music very long time, and I love to experiment with a lot of funny self-constructed instruments, gongs, a lot of with electronic. We had in Berlin an experimental band with steel cello. It's from Bob Rudman. He's an inventor. He was working with John Cage in the 50s back. He's already near to 90. And it's like industrial sounds and mixed with gongs, with electro cello. And this gives a kind of film character, sometimes like alien film music. I made a Johnny 9 chapters time machine. And we have bells, real bells, 3 friends of mine. And it's so many possibilities with sounds, millions, and working with water sounds, rain. There's so many possibilities, as everybody knows who works with music. And I have to practice English, I don't have too many practice. So it's thanks.
Oh, that's okay. You speak very well. You speak far better than my German. When I was in Berlin for a while, and I was playing, I was trying to be a member of the Blue Man Group. And so I was over there for about a month, and
Blue Man Group, very famous.
Had a great time. I love those guys, and I enjoyed playing with them.
Fantastic.
It was tremendous. It was very, very cool. And I love Berlin. It's a wonderful city, and I have to say I could live there easily. It's a lot like New York City. I find it's just a great place. I love it, and I had high hopes of moving there, but now I'm here in New York, which is great. And I think there's a very cool music scene in Germany that is it's not really, a lot of people in America don't know about the music that goes on. and I tend to like a lot of that experimental music, things you do. I have a very broad range of stuff I like to listen to, and that's how I stumbled upon you. I don't recall how we met, but I do remember that we were both. I listened to it and I went, "Oh, this is cool," and we've sort of been corresponding back and forth. And after this is over, we're going to go ahead and edit and finish the show, and I'm going to edit some of your music in at the top and bottom, if that's okay. And I'll credit you, of course. Are you working on anything new at present?
Yeah, I did serial with the art of my mother. She's a painter.
Mm-hmm.
I connected paintings from her with a new kind of music, where I was experimenting new direction with all kind of sounds in direction of comedy. I love a kind of comedy in music. Make people
For sure.
make people happy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
My biggest dream, actually, my record is Flying World Records. And my whole dream is a flying world tour, 3 cities journey worldwide as a 2, 3, 4, 5 years tour through the history of music. So
All
every
right.
musician, artist, film people have the chance, inventors, scientists, to show what we can do about to save the planet and to work together, to be united, to be better to each other, to help each other, be a
Sure.
friendly person, make centers, communities where art can live, with universities. That's my big dream. New
Sure.
architecture, more natural architecture, beautiful colors, a lot of plants, plant houses.
Tell me, what instruments do you must? I've heard a lot of your stuff, so there's a lot of music going on. How long have you been playing music yourself, if you don't mind?
About 50 years.
Okay, well, you're like me. I've
From
been playing.
child, my grandmother, she was piano and singing. She was a piano player, and she was teaching me poetry when I was very young, and so I was growing up with the music and started very early with the piano, and later I came to percussion, guitar, drums, and then I started to experiment with water, with a lot of kind of tools, little
Right.
balls. There's plenty possibilities, millions of possibilities how to produce sound, like everybody knows who work with.
Excellent. And what do you use to record on? What format? Do you use a laptop like Pro Tools, something along those lines?
No, I use Cubase.
Oh, Cubase. Okay, very fun software.
I worked on Pro Tools all time back. We split. Was a studio in Poland, and it was quiet. And we already started recording between 2 gongs. We recorded tuba between gongs, voices, tippy balls. The gongs was reflecting the sounds. It's opened a new world. You know, already
Right.
there we were going out in the shipyard, recording machine sounds, birds, using all kind of tools. And that's funny. All night you can cut, and you think it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's already 8. You know.
It's funny because I've listened to you and just had yours play on, and I just listened to all of them, and I go, "Oh, this is cool." You know, it's very relaxing. I like to read a lot, and it's the one thing I do where I don't have to talk. A lot of people would say that's a good thing. I'm sure.
Yeah, played music always the best.
Well, how has COVID affected your music making? Did you have friends that you just meet up to jam with at home, and has that kind of gone away?
No, not as a possibility. I had some friends here, but we said, okay, to do live something, it doesn't make sense, you know,
Sure.
with Corona time. So, and traveling also is difficult. I have friends in Berlin, and you know, but it's all a little bit split it up. Everybody does their own projects. We have one member is from England,
Right.
Michael Nile. He's quite busy with music, he's doing a very good job. Wolfram Spur, he's very active also with universities and building electronic synthesizers, showing to
Right.
the students and things like this.
I love it.
I would love, you know, to make this community, make the flying world tour and come with thousands of artists together and showing up, you know, making
Mhm.
our tour, making movies about the city's time journey, how it could be in future, where we want to go, you know, to make the world better, a better place to live.
I really like that about you. We all really do hope for a better place. I always believe there's only one race, and that's the human race, and we should all get along the best we can at any time.
We are one.
We are. And so, Ingo, tell us, where can people find your music?
On my page, flyingworldrecords.com.
Great.
And on Facebook on Ingo Eisen. And on Instagram, I still have to work out how it works. I
Sure.
start to get some friends who want to help me out. It's our Flying World Tour.
Great.
So, who wants to work in the project? Everybody is welcome. It needs a big community.
Well, we'll certainly put some links up on our page, and we'll share links, and hopefully some of my fans will like you, and some of yours will like my show. Everybody, Ingo Eisen, filmmaker and avant-garde recording artist, just a really cool guy, and I'm glad to have him as a friend. We've been communicating for, it's got to be a year or two now. We've been going back and forth, and I always enjoy seeing your music, and look forward to hearing some more.
Yeah, we can exchange music. That would be nice.
For sure. I can play some drums. I'll send you a rhythm track, and I'll make it very clangy and gongy. I like to make things go bump in the night. All right. Well, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up with Ingo. I'm glad you all are here and watching. I'm going to go ahead, Ingo. I'm going to sign off from you for now, and we'll be talking again soon. Please, as always, we'll keep our correspondence between us. And I look forward to. I really appreciate you coming on with us, and we'll talk this weekend after the show's over and have a little time to relax.
Okay, learning by doing.
Yes. So everybody, if you have an interest in avant-garde music and percussion and great noise and sound intermixed along with sounds of nature, he's a very interesting fellow, and we're glad he's here. So check out Ingo Eisen, and we're going to have him back again, and you'll see some. We will edit this podcast after the show, and we'll be adding some of his music for you to enjoy, and some of Craig's.
Yes.
And
welcome, and for New America.
Yes, and hopefully all my friends welcome Ingo, and go check his site out. And you know what? If you like him, just buy a song or two. Everybody needs to eat in this time of COVID, and it doesn't take anything. A buck adds up. It's not much money, but if we all give a buck to the artists who are out there, just spare a buck to them. If everybody did that, we'd have artists who could afford to pay their bills. We're all in a tough situation, and I think that would be something to really bring us together a lot.
It would make me happy, and it's appreciated as well,
Of course. Well,
we did for all musicians, it's our whole life, let's say, investment.
Well, I think music's one of the things that's a calling, and if you're called, you answer the call. It's what you will do. I know however long I live that I will be playing music, hanging around with friends, talking music, listening to music, and helping my neighbors hear the song lists that I prefer to play when I'm reading or working at home. I always check to make sure nobody's home, so I don't really crank up the subwoofer and make the whole neighborhood go, oh, Neil's at it again.
Soon I have to fly to America. See, we have to do some music together. Start a flying world in USA.
I hope you get to America, and hopefully we'll hook up here in New York sometime. Or if I'm over in Berlin, when all this ends,
I've been in San Francisco as well.
Beautiful city. I like it there too.
I love America.
All right.
I love the whole world. Our planet is beautiful. I've been in Russia as well. So
yeah, Russia's another. It's a whole other story that people have to experience.
Exactly, but everywhere you find friendly and nice artists and nice people. That's
absolutely. I believe the music is the universal language.
Next, I work a little bit with the light.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Hey, have a nice Friday, and play some music and have a nice dinner. And I love you, friends.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We love you here too, and we'll be talking again. I'm sure we'll have you on again, and maybe once we can do some kind of a live around the world industrial set or something. Have some fun. All right, buddy. And I'm going to see you next time, live on Neve. Ego Ison. All right, everybody. Here you are. You're just stuck with me now. You stuck through this show since about an hour ago, and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, please private message me. If you want to be on the show, we do have some great guests coming up. We have Ike Willis from Frank Zappa's band who will be talking to us in the next few days. We have a couple of real big interviews coming up that I'm not going to spoil until I have the absolute confirmation and signature and time. However, I can tell you we're in negotiations with a couple of fantastic artists that I know you're gonna enjoy hearing, household name kind of thing. And I hope you just have a great weekend. My staff here, I have Julie Bruno and I have J.R. Sanson, both who helped me with the show. And we've also got Mandy Lou. She writes songs and parodies for us. And now we have Mike Imperato, who is going to do our Angry Man of the Week updates. Mike is just a great and funny man. And if you'll go to Mike Imperato Rants, you'll get to check him out. And last but not least, my friend Craig, who's just on, is an absolutely great guy and a Renaissance man. And I'm proud to have him for a friend. I'm also proud to have everybody who takes time out of their day, week, night, whenever they log in. I appreciate every one of you. If you have any questions or ideas, if you want to tell me some, if you want to be on the show, private message me. We will consider all things. Please try to keep it in the realm of comedy, music, art, photography, anything that's kind of fascinating and doesn't involve politics. We pretty much like to do. I'm a musician, for those of you who don't know. I'm a drummer, and you can find and see all that crap on my Facebook page. And now I'm reinventing my life, trying to do this show. We are working on better guests. We have better hardware to work with and software. And I hope those of you who've been watching it, I hope you understand how much I appreciate it. I really do. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not a DJ. I just play one on television. So I hope everybody has a really cool weekend. You can find us on YouTube, Live with Neve, and you'll also be able to find the addresses for anybody who I have had on the show. Check out Live with Neve on YouTube. And my name is Neil Ernest Van Erdy, to clear up anything. If you're with the Neve Corporation, it's not some swanky moniker like Prince. It's just my initials. So Live with Neve is easier to say than Live with Neil Ernest Van Erdy. At any rate, have a great Sunday. I hope we know when the election's been settled. And wherever you are, have a super day. And thank you from everybody at Live with Neve. We'll see you next time.